Good morning, students. Welcome back after your holidays. I hope all of you have enjoyed your holidays, though you were not able to move anywhere outside due to COVID 19. But anyhow, we are safe at our home. Yes, children. So, we have already finished the first and second chapter of history, and that was in your UT also, unit test. Now we will start with the chapter number 3, which is in your first term. Clear? So the lesson number 3, the name of the lesson number 3, it is the first phase of the Indian national movement. First phase of the Indian national movement. So the history of the Indian national movement, it is divided into 3 parts basically. The first part, it is the early nationalist phase, okay, which was from 1885 to 1907. And the second was assertive phase, that was from 1907 to 1916. And the third one was the Gandhian era. So this Indian national movement, it was divided into 3 phases. The first phase, early nationalist phase. The second, assertive phase. And the third, it is a Gandhian phase. Now, early nationalists, who were these people? So in the initial years, the Congress was led by a group of people, and this group of people, they belonged to the educated middle class, consisting of lawyers, barristers, teachers, officials, etc. And they were very much inspired by the Western thoughts because most of them, they were educated in England. And according to them, whatever the Britishers they were doing, that was just, fair. They never blamed Britishers in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning. Okay, they never blamed the Britishers for the downfall of the Indian economy or for the downfall of the Indians. They always felt that Indians are responsible for their downfall themselves. Clear? So some of the prominent leaders, you can see the snap also in your book. If you will open your book, you will see the snaps. Surendranath Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, clear? Raj Bihari Ghosh, Surendranath Banerjee, R.C. Dutt, Dadabhai Naroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. These are some of the leaders, those who belongs to the early nationalist group. Firoz Shah Mehta, Justice Rana Day, P.R. Naidu, Subramaniam Iyer, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, and some of the liberal Englishmen like Hume and Wedderburn. Clear? These were some of the leaders, those who were the part of the early nationalists. Now these early nationalists, they were open-minded and moderate people. And once again, I already told you that they believe in the loyalty of the British Crown. According to them, they are correct. Now, what was the beliefs of the early nationalists? So according to the early nationalists, they believed, or you can say that they had a faith in the sense of justice, fair, honesty and integrity of the Britishers. Secondly, they hoped that Britishers, they will provide them the home rule. Home rule means they will allow the Indians to rule over their country. And they too believe that Britishers, they had many benefits. Clear? Like Britishers, they were responsible to remove the Sati Pratha, untouchability, child marriages, etc. And they want that if Britishers will be there, so they will bring the Western education, they will bring the Western standards in the country, which will benefit the Indians. And fifth point, if you will see, that they said that the main problem behind the Indian backwardness is India themselves. And they believed on the constitutional and peaceful methods in order to achieve their aims. Now, what was the demands of the early nationalists? Children, demands are not in your syllabus. Okay, but I will do with you. You are going to learn 7 to 8 demands, but it is not necessary that you will learn under different heads. Though in your book it is given under different heads, but you can learn any 7 from all these 4 different heads. Now, the first one, it is a constitutional reforms. So, according to the constitutional reforms, the first one, it is a abolition of the Indian Council. Indian Council should be abolished. Then expansion of the Legislative Council and Legislative Assemblies, both at the center and in the provinces. Then there should be increase in the membership of the Indians by electing them in the local bodies like Chamber of Commerce, universities, etc. And they too demanded for the Swaraj or self-government. Second, it's economic reforms. So in the economic reforms, they want that land revenue should be reduced, and the peasant should be protected from the jimidars. Then reduction in expenditures on the army. The maximum profit of the India was spent on the welfare, not welfare, for the development of the army. So they want that that much should be spent they require. More should not be spent, and whatever it is left, that should be spent on the education, health of the people. Then inquiry should be there that why India is suffering from poverty. Okay, and what are the reason behind the occurring of the famines again and again? Famine, shortage of food crop. Then availability of cheap credit to the peasants through agricultural banks. Then development of banking, irrigation, health facilities for the people. Then industrial growth through trade. Okay, some norms should be there, which will more taxes should be there on the imported goods. Okay, and more development of coal, paper, and sugar industries in India should be there. So these were some of the economic demands. Now next, it is the administrative demands. So demands for you can say that simultaneously test of civil services, once in India, once in England. Then complete separation of executives from judiciary. Then you can say that increase in the power of the local bodies. Okay, repeal of the Arms Act, License Act, wider employment to the Indians at higher post, spread of primary education, improvement of the police system. So these all were the administrative demands which was demanded by the early nationalists. Now, defense of the civil rights. Now, some civil rights were also there, that they want that restriction which was imposed by the Britishers on the freedom to speech and freedom to press, that should also be removed. Individuals should be allowed to move, clear, according to their wish. So, right to assemble, right to form association, that should also be withdrawn, which was imposed by the Britishers. So these were some of the demands. Now the various methods which was adopted by the early nationalists in order to get the things from the Britishers, they were divided into two. First set of methods, second set of methods. First set of methods में they held meetings where speeches they were given. Then they make use of press to criticize the government policies. Then they send memorandums, petitions to the government, clear, in order to fulfill their demand. Then second set of method, they use the 3 P's, please underline: petition, prayers, protests, clear. Then they set up Indian National Congress in London in order to draw the problems of the Indians. So these were some of the different methods which was opted by the early nationalists in order to forward their demands, so that Britishers they can fulfill those demands.